Hi, today we will be looking into the parts of the belt conveyor. This belt conveyor is inclined in nature. This is the picture of Don Bosco. Let us try to understand the working of the belt conveyor. In this figure, you can observe that there are two circles which is pink in color. This is called the tail pulley and this is called the head pulley. The head pulley is rotating in the clockwise direction. The green color thing is the belt which is mounted on the pulley. Now when the head pulley rotates due to friction, the belt also rotates. The belt here in this case is the flat belt. Here you can see in the orange color is the loading hopper. In the loading hopper, some material or lump is kept and that systematically falls on the belt. The red color thing can be assumed as the conveyed material or coal as in this case. It systematically falls on the belt and the belt carries the coal from one point to another point. At the end point we have the discharge hopper or the unloading hopper. In the unloading hopper, the coal material is loaded and it is stored in the storing vessel. Hence we see the working of the belt conveyor. Let us understand the different parts of the belt conveyor. Here, as we have seen earlier, the green color is called the belt, that is also called as the traction element. The pink color here at the downside is called as tail pulley and is the driven pulley. Here above is called as the head pulley, which is pink in color, and it is called the driver as the motor is connected to this pulley. You can see that the pulley is rotating in the clockwise direction. Now we can see that as the pulley rotates, the belt will also rotate along with it. The orange color thing here is called as the loading hopper. The conveyed material is added over the belt. The purple color thing here, as it is seen, is the overrunning idler. There are three overrunning idlers in the picture. As we can see, all of them are in purple color. The overrunning idler supports the belt and the conveyed material so that there is no sag of the belt. Now as we go further, we can see here a cleaner device. The cleaner device is for cleaning the belt. The red color thing here is the snub pulley. The snub pulley increases the angle of lap of the belt with respect to the head pulley. Hence the slip is reduced. We can also observe here the discharge hopper. Discharge hopper is the place where the materials are unloaded. Hence it is also called as unloading hopper. The sky blue color circle, what you see here, is the underrunning idler assembly. It supports the belt when the belt is passing through the return run. We also see here a curved curvature and there are three circles which are brown in color, and we also see a yellow color weight that is added to the central circle here. The brown color thing, what you observe, are supporting idlers, and you can see the weight is added onto the belt to maintain the tension in the belt. Due to continuous working, the belt expands due to creep, and the creep leads to increase in the length of the belt. The increase in the length of the belt leads to loss of tension. This yellow color weight will maintain that tension. Hence, this type of arrangement is called as gravity take-up arrangement or gravity take-up system. This is a hand-drawn drawing. Here we can see that part number 1 is the belt, part number 2 is the head pulley, part number 9 is the underrunning idler assembly, and part number 8 is the overrunning idler assembly. Here capital L represents center to center distance between the pulleys. In the question, L is given as 100 meters, that is as long as 33 floors long. Hence it's quite a long distance between the pulleys. Therefore there is a chance that the belt may sag. Hence we require overrunning idler assembly and underrunning idler assembly. Here we can see that gravity take-up mechanism is shown. Let us look into the important parts of the belt conveyor. The part number 1 here is the belt, and the belt fabric is made of cotton, 28 ounce, 32 ounce, 36 ounce, 42 ounce, 48 ounce can be the various thicknesses of the belt. The belt thickness is depending on the calculations one does. Head pulley is made of cast iron FG20. Tail pulley is made of cast iron FG20. Snub pulley is made of cast iron FG15. The cleaner device is material of construction as per the manufacturer. The loading hopper is generally made of sheet metal. Unloading hopper is made of sheet metal. Overrunning idler is like cast iron FG40. Underrunning idler is made of cast iron FG40. Gravity take-up arrangement consists of couple of parts. Hence, it is material of construction as per the manufacturer. Axle of the head and the tail pulley is generally made of C45. These are some of the important parts of the belt conveyor. Here we see the layout of the belt conveyor. In the layout we can see the front view as well as the top view. Along the front view you can see the loading hopper and the unloading hopper. Here we can also observe a brake line. The brake line indicates that the belt conveyor is much more longer than it is indicated in the figure. Now we will look into the top view. The belt conveyor requires power to rotate itself. The power is provided by the motor. A brake is coupled to the motor in case you want to stop it. The motor rotates and it is coupled with the gearbox. The gearbox further transmits the power to the axle with the help of the coupling. When the axle rotates, the pulley rotates, and as the pulley rotates, the belt moves along with it. And when the belt moves, the conveyed material is also transferred from one point to the another. This is a layout of the belt conveyor. In this slide, we can observe the 3D model of the conveyor. Here you can see the tail pulley at the back, and we have the head pulley in the front. And the tail pulley and the head pulley is connected to the frame. The frame can also be called as the chassis. Here you can observe that the belt is absent so as to understand the internal parts of the belt conveyor. Here what you can observe is the assembly of the overrunning idler. You can observe here there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 number of overhead running assembly, and this supports the belt and the material to be conveyed from the bottom. Now when the belt comes along the return run, the belt is supported by the underrunning idlers. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 set of underrunning idler assemblies, and they support the belt. So this particular slide helps us to get the idea how the belts are supported above and below. The number of overrunning idler sub-assembly in this particular model, we can see it as NO is equal to 6. Similarly, we can observe that number of underrunning idler sub-assemblies in the model NR is equal to 6. Type of conveyors. Here we can see in the figure that it is inclined or take up or convey up system. In the conveyor, when the loading hopper is at this particular location and the unloading hopper in this particular location, and the conveyed material is being taken from the bottom to the top in an inclined manner, this type of system is called as convey up system. Let us look into declined or take down or convey down system. In convey down system, the material is loaded from the loading hopper at the top and it is carried with the help of the belt to the bottom, and at the bottom side it is unloaded in the unloading hopper. When the material is conveyed from the top to bottom, this type of conveyor system is called as convey down system. Let us look into the horizontal conveyor. In the horizontal conveyor, you can observe that on one side we have the loading hopper and the other side we have the unloading hopper, and the material is conveyed from one point to another point. Here there is no inclination of the belt. Hence we can say that this is a horizontal type of conveyor. When we design the belt conveyor, it is very important to locate the motor. The motor can be located at the head pulley, or it can be located at the tail pulley, or it can be located at both the pulleys. So the designer has to take the final call. When the motor is located at the head pulley, a direction symbol is given at the head pulley. Such a condition is called as head drive. When the motor is connected to the tail pulley, in that case, a directional mark is given at the tail pulley. In this condition, we can understand it is a tail drive system where the motor is connected to the tail pulley. In both drive system, motors will be present at the tail pulley as well as at the head pulley. Hence, you can see the directional marks at both the sides. This type of system is called as a both drive system. For initial calculations, we'll consider the motor to be connected at the head pulley and carry out the calculations. If the head pulley motor is not able to provide sufficient torque and speed, in that case we will put one more motor at the tail pulley. So let us start with the head drive calculations. Generally, we will put a motor at the tail pulley only when there is no space at the upper side for the motor to be located. In that particular case, generally the motor is connected at the tail pulley. In this particular slide, we observe the JJ section on the conveyor. The JJ section passes through this circle, which is an overrunning idler sub-assembly, which is shown purple in color. It also passes through another circle which is sky blue in color, which is underrunning sub-assembly. The one single idler which is observed here is not just single one, but represents three idler as shown in the sectional view. Since all the three idlers cannot be shown in this particular small area, that's why it is represented by a single circle. But what we need to understand is this particular single circle represents three idlers as shown in the section JJ. Similarly, the sky blue color here is the underrunning straight idler, which is represented by a single idler at the bottom. The sectional view JJ helps us to understand a more detailed view of this particular section. Here we can see the enlarged picture of the section JJ. The brown color thing, what you can see here, is the frame or the chassis for the overrunning idler and the underrunning idler. Here the green color thing, what you see at the top, is the belt conveyor during the upper stroke, and the belt conveyor here at the downward stroke or the return stroke. The center is located with the central idler, and to the left we have another end idler, and to the right the other end idler. One can observe that there is straight idler at the bottom, and this is how the section JJ in detail can be understood. We can observe here that section JJ has three cases. In all the three cases, the underrunning straight idler has only one single straight idler in case 1, case 2 and case 3, while in the overrunning type the number of idlers are changing from case 1 to case 3. Let us understand them. In the case 1, overrunning straight idler consists of only one single idler. This is the configuration of case 1. In case 2, the overrunning troughing idler has two inclined idlers which make a troughing angle. The troughing angle helps in balancing and securing the load that it is carrying from one point to another point without the load being fallen off. In case 3, we have three idlers which makes a troughing angle and which makes the conveyed load to be more safe. It avoids falling off of the conveyed material. Hence, this type of configuration we call it overrunning troughing idler 3. Hence, in this particular design, we will be considering case 3 as the orientation for the JJ section. Some of the important parts and the sub-assemblies of the belt conveyor are as such follows: belt traction element, driver head pulley sub-assembly, driven tail pulley sub-assembly, overrunning idler sub-assembly, underrunning idler sub-assembly, loading hopper, unloading hopper, snub pulley, cleaner device, and gravity take-up arrangement. Let us look into the tree diagram of the belt conveyor. As we have seen, there is a belt and the driver pulley sub-assembly. It consists of pulley, shaft, bearing and frames. So these are the sub-components that need to be designed in driver pulley sub-assembly. In the driven pulley sub-assembly, we have the same parts: pulley, shaft, bearing and frame. The next assembly is overrunning idler sub-assembly. In the overrunning idler sub-assembly, we have selected 3 idler overrunning. We have the axle, bearing and the frame. In case of underrunning idler sub-assembly, we need to design single idler because that is the configuration we have selected: axle, bearing and frame. And we need to take care of the motor and the transmission selection, as well as some accessories as well, as we have seen earlier. So these are some of the components in the belt conveyor.